Well, it turns out that something went seriously wrong, so I'm going to start this again. And we're going by the same world, Chernobog. And this time I will be showing you the opening cutscene. And then I'm going to see if I can get back to where we were. And I'm also going to try to get past the toxic caverns. What happened? I died. That is what I get for being disorganized. So each and every time you log in, you can see that you have a hint up here. And you can... It says craft a threat scanner early. You never know when you might need to build up your defenses. That's actually not true. You can actually tell how much exactly I need, or how much you need, or how much threat that you will be able to generate before you need a threat scanner. I recommend you don't build a threat scanner until you build your first pyrothermic generator, which I won't take long to get to. I'll be back in the game soon. Here we go. So this is how we... Now that the scan is done, we can simply analyze it, and we just need an Arbor power core. So we're on our own now. And as I always like to do, we're going to be digging out single blocks in order to grab the research data. So that is either copper or it is tin. And I'm going to be back with you after we have enough resources to continue. It's really not hard to find a way out of these caves. All you're going to do is come close enough to the surface that you have the light coming in. And if you can see the sky, that's your way out. And I really should stop grappling around everything. The power in the research station is very limited, but luckily we already know what it is that we need to research. You can actually have some idea of what you need to research just by looking at the number of research points that it takes to analyze. So obviously the plants take the smallest amount of research points, and the deeper blocks take give the most. Well, you don't actually they don't actually take research points. They reward you with them. I must clarify. And we have and the deeper you go, the more research points you'll find to reward you with. Okay. Obviously, it is best that you can analyze as many finds as possible, so you can maximize the number of researches that you can do. So I'm just going to do the black box data here, because I actually have not much power remaining after unlocking all these finds. And then I'll be back when I've generated more power. As I'm saying, I'm playing on the highest challenge settings as usual, so this is going to take... Got enough power to to analyze some more finds. I'm going to go ahead and do so, and it just so happens one of them was the copper, and this time I'm going to go for the copper vein that is already exposed, since that would take less time realistically. Should be somewhere down here. Here we go. This looks weird, I know, with the notice board, with the LED screen facing directly up, but that shouldn't really matter much as long as you're getting the ore that you see. After all, one or at least one of the drilling machines, the ones you use to make molybdenum, to take out molybdenum and neodymium ore in the deep caverns and below, it always points downwards, and you can't actually stand on it or you'll die. How's that for danger? And I'm going to give a quick conversational piece here as well. How often do you on average? I've been applying for jobs en masse, and furthermore have just read that it can take anywhere from days to months to finalize a shortlist. What is your experience with these shortlists? I'd love to hear them in the comment section down below. Anyway, I'm gonna get grinding, and I'll be back with you later. It turns out that this last find that I hadn't scanned yet was coal, and of course we can already unlock base building. We'll do the local life forms pretty soon as well. See why the bulk of FortressCraft Evolved's players never play on Greg resource level, because it simply takes them too long to extract the resources. Ever much hassle for me. And of course, you always move suit upgrades into the suit upgrades grid here to make more room for your inventory. Check with these assembly mine machines and the local life forms, and we'll go. The next one we'll get is basic mining upgrades, then power grid, then suit upgrading. It is important to plan ahead, just like it is in real life. And I'm also going to be testing out the AFK and orbit commands, just to ensure that they work as the tricks that I hear that I can use to avoid and suit upgrades and now, but okay, we're gonna get automation and laboratories. We'll unlock the basic drill motor, iron gear maker, and the lightweight machine housing crafter, as those always top priority for especially when it comes to the production. We're also going to get the lithium coil charger, and then we're going to explore a little further. You actually have to pause your game in order to check how much time's elapsed. You can just look at that nova up there. As time passes, it grows in size. Eventually, it will envelop the surface and make it uninhabitable. In fact, your suit actually has in its heads-up display. Okay, as I was saying, it has an indicator for radiation. To analyze glow tubes, a tree trunk, snow, and tundra breath. The tree trunks are actually useful because you can craft them into wood like so. Here they are there in the defences. And the best part is you don't actually have to use construction paste to make the wood. and they actually give you wood back when you dig them up. Station will be unlocking laboratories, the power grid, and base defences and automation once the power has built back up. Down. I actually prefer to dig stairwells before I have any lifts to place. And I also have some problems with another thing I've been thinking about. Of course, there is the obligatory strip mining. Configuration that I'm digging in as well. We'll be picking up those unknown blocks if they are a single block, and we'll be taking them straight back to the research station. Unknown material to be analysed, and then we can unlock the base defense, automation, and machines, don't you think? I'll get back to them later, cause barely any power left. I'm gonna smelt up some ore first. During another dig, I turn out to have found bedrock, and I was pretty sure that I would find some ore nearby as well, but the bedrock was completely obscuring what I was sure, the iron I was sure was behind it. I'm going to also unlock the laboratory component, research assembler, and the Mark 1 power core charger. And we do need to save some room for the anthropological osteology and the spider bot. Now I'm gonna let the power build right up, run around and extract more resources, and then I'll be down to. And now that I'm out of torches, I really gotta go back upwards. So I'll meet you back up. Back up in the upper caves. Well, these are the upper caves. And now I'm gonna take you to I actually taught myself that when we ping unknown here, there should be by right be the iron we seek. We're gonna see what recipes are available. We'll go down here to find out coal extractor completely And I know exactly what I found back in that cavern down below, but I'm not going to tell you right off the bat because that would spoil the generation of hardened resin, then it can be blocked out completely. And this will expose, in some cases, the high-brain matter with. Okay, now that we've got some more research material, I'm going to have to wait a while until I can unlock this anthropological osteology in the spider bot. We actually have quite enough research points that we can unlock almost the entire available list. To analyze these 3 more unknown materials that I found, and as luck would have it, one of them is the lithium that we seek early on. And all this so now that we have enough research points and enough power, we're going to upgrade. We're going to go with the upgraded power grid. We're going to upgrade. We're going to unlock the power storage Mark II, the induction charger, turrets Mark 1 and Mark 2. We'll go for the ray gun, since we'll need it earlier. The emerald focusing lens, the suit power pack Mark 1, Mark 2 power charger, servo motor maker, we'll definitely need that pretty soon. And we'll just wait on the spider bot, on the power for the spider bot and the anthropological osteology. The ore thief is not much use right now though, but we will be able to make use of it once we can set up our dedicated smeltery. We can now analyze these 2 more materials that we found, and we can unlock the spider bot, and we'll wait for the basic spider bot defenses, as they will be next up. Oh, of course, we can use the spider bot. Okay, we can unlock the spider bot base component as well, and I'm gonna go ahead and smelt some more metal. Go ahead and make the stepper plant, and I'm gonna need 3 more tin to make the wire extruder. The extrusion plant, which will allow us to make wire in order to make the other machines, most of the others, that we're going to need to get even deeper than we did in the last take. On the other hand, that's just one of many milestones, minor milestones. I'm going to be back once I have the materials to make the next major milestone, that is the storage hopper. Go ahead and make the extrusion plant now, as I'm obviously going to need it in order to make the iron gear maker and the lightweight machine housing maker, in order to get to the next major milestones of the storage hopper and ore extractor number 4. Take the basic spider bot defenses, and here is the spider bot blaster we'll need. We'll also take a macerator, and the coal enricher will come next, once we can unlock the advanced power grid. Where we've discovered soft resin, and now we can go ahead and, well, we'll have to wait for a moment before I do. On the other hand, we can go ahead and unlock rune building, and but agriculture is going to have to wait for a while as well. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and smelt some more ore. The lightweight machine housing crafter right now, because the sooner we make each of these tiers and these milestones, the better. Especially in hardcore mode, and especially in Greg resources, especially in scarce power, slow conveyors. We already have the ingredients for the iron gear maker, so I'll just plop this down right there and start making the gears. We'll reach the storage hopper in no time. Of course, I have a crash parts container to analyze. I'll also unlock anthropological osteology because why not? And let's see here, let's see here. We'll use this recipe for the crude organic lens. You really got to be careful. I'm also going to unlock the airlocks and the rooms. And look at that, a coal enricher, just as I had been looking for, just to get back up to where I was before I died. I'm also going to take the garments, because I'm opportunistic like that. I'll be back once I've gotten everything together. We have all the materials we need to make our storage hopper, our very next of our major milestones. The next one I'm going to be covering is ore extractor number 4, which is near about critical if you want to maximize your progression speed. As you can see, I'm just under 7.5 hours here, and as the lightweight machine housing comes across, just be careful, don't ever dig up a crafter that is working on an item, or you'll simply void the item and waste your resources. So now I'm gonna craft the storage hopper right here, and then I'll be back after I've gotten ore extractor number 4's materials. At this point, you can actually get straight on to making your basic conveyors, and you will be able to progress even faster, because you won't have to babysit those ore extractors. And in the case of this run, I'm pretty sure we can use less basic conveyor belts to connect up the ore extractors to this smelter here. So I grab out the conveyor belts as they're crafted, and I'll be back after I place them. So obviously the next batch of conveyor belts should connect to the tin extractor. I'll be back with you when when I have it. Success at last. With 9.5 hours elapsed, just about, we can now go on to ore extractor number 4. We're a new unknown material in one of the tunnels, and this is the organic rock that we're going to need to build our coal enricher. Go ahead and make the materials we need for the coiler plant, because we'll definitely need coils if we are to build the coal enricher, which is coming pretty soon. 12 hours so far, so we are really speeding along quickly. And there's a neat little trick you can do to avoid any of your blocks being voided. You want to make sure you are targeting a face and not an edge of an existing cube. It's taken only half an hour in order to procure the materials for the ore extractor. So now, I'm going to meet you at the bottom of the cave. Well, not the very bottom of it, but where the lithium ore is, where I'll be putting the extractor and then charging it up. Lithium goes, what a huge seam this is. It's got over 1 million lithium ore fragments. enough to make, by my calculations, 4,000 lithium bars. And that's without the specialized cutter heads. The way I'm working this out is that I'm dividing it by 250. And 1 million divided by 25 is 40,000, which leaves 4,000 if you divide by 250. Anyways, we'll be back when we have the materials for our very next milestone, the coal enricher. Now the part where we build our lithium coil charger, and I'm going to place it right here, as this is where I propose my Spiderbot base to be, as with the previous playthrough. Now this thing does need power. So on the other hand, it would be prudent that I remove it from that point and place it here instead. Where we make the servo motor maker and turn one of our copper wires into a servo motor. Now here it should be, and that should just about do it. And this is where we get our next machine, the macerator, in preparation for the coal enricher. Can you feel it? I can. I'm going ahead and creating another basic conveyor crafter, upcrafting one of them to a regular conveyor crafter. Get our macerator ready before we can make our coal enricher. We just got one lithium core to go at this moment. And make ore extractor number 5 right now, seeing as we're going to need it somewhere down the line, and it just so happens we are lucky enough to have, well, obviously there is a coal vein here, but it's not as big as I thought it was. We have all the resources we need to make this coal enricher. I'm just smelting the lithium down now, and we should have the coils in no time. And there's really nothing to it. And at long last, we have all 5 of the final lithium coils we need to make a 5th charged one to make our coal enricher. And not even 20 hours have passed since the beginning of this playthrough, and it's amazing just what you can accomplish, isn't it? Well, that's about all we... Okay, I suppose I do have time to show you the actual crafting and placing of the coal enricher too. Now, coal enrichers are powered. It is absolutely vital that you keep this in mind, so unless you have put down an Arthur charging grid or some other kind of power grid, you will absolutely need to place it next to your central power hub, like so. Well, that's just about all we have time for this session. So, like and subscribe. Tell me what I could have done better. If you think that I could have done anything better, let me know what you'd like to see for the next session, and be safe. Don't let the COVID-19 get to you.